Available in paperback at e-readers, Isis, Dark Incubus. The goddess next door gets enthralled in a romantic entanglement with an evil incubus in this all-new Isis series adventure. Get your copy of Isis, Dark Incubus in paperback and e-readers today. One of my viewers wanted to know why some women allow their husbands to go out here and have sex with other women. Now, the viewer goes on to talk about how some of these women who are wives are cuck queens and, like the cuckold, are out here allowing their husbands to have sex with other women, and in some cases having sex right in front of them, and do this because they want to try to please the husband in the relationship. Now, when it comes to the woman, she's very different than the man. Now, when it comes to the cuckold male, he basically allows this to happen because, one, he's a sexual deviant who is looking to gratify his need for power, and two, this man has a quest to be a god and wants to be a voyeur from a position where he believes he can control both the man and the woman. That is the motivation of a cuckold. However, when it comes to the woman who passively allows her husband to go out here and pursue sexual relations with another woman, it can be for several reasons. One reason can be that she has agreed to be part of a polygynous relationship, and as part of a polygynous relationship, she is going out here and understanding that she is going to be a sister wife, and it's her husband's right to pursue other wives. However, that agreement, again, is between the husband, who is the head and the steward, and if he wants to bring in a sister wife, what he does is consult his wife about bringing in other women and him pursuing other women. And again, this is all as related to marriage and marriage under the standard of polygyny. However, when it comes to other women, they allow their husbands to pursue other women because some of these women have extremely low self-esteem, and because these women have extremely low self-esteem and low self-worth, they fear losing the man in their life, and they fear if they don't allow that man to pursue other women, that man will basically go out here and cheat. So in order to try to create a covert contract where they hope to keep this man, they look the other way when he pursues other women. And in other cases, they just basically say he can go out and see who he wants in an open relationship. Now, in this scenario, this is where situations get toxic because oftentimes when it comes to these women, while they have low self-esteem, they are extremely insecure. And while they are sitting there watching their man pursue other women, this is where their female nature kicks in. And their female nature kicks in because women are naturally competitive against other women. And because they are naturally competitive against other women, this is where their insecurities flare up. And their insecurities flare up because, yes, they give this man a pass to be with other women, but the whole thing is that since they don't, while they may be the wife, they just are sitting there simmering and boiling in anger, as this man pursues other relationships with other women, simmering and boiling in anger because, in contrast, they feel powerless, in contrast to the cuckold who gets power from being a god over the entire situation. The woman is sitting there frustrated because she feels powerless, and because she feels powerless, this is one of the reasons why she believes she needs to go out here and let her man go out here and see other women. But the whole thing is, while he's seeing other women, she's upset because these women are receiving the attention that she wants. And as those women receive the attention that she wants, what she does is start to become more and more frustrated, more and more angry. And while she'll put on a pleasant face on the surface passively, she's sitting there deeply frustrated because this man is not looking to meet her emotional needs. Now, when it comes to women, most women are emotional, and they get involved in relationships with men because they want to get their emotional and spiritual needs met. And for them, when a man is having sex with a woman, it's like a betrayal to them, and a betrayal to them that they tolerate because they believe, oh, this man is just out here having sex with these women. But when that man has sex with that woman, again, he's putting his spirit and DNA inside of that woman, and that woman basically feels like she's not allowed to bond with that man, and are not allowed to bond with that man because he's sharing himself with other women, and that basically upsets many of these women who are not in polygynous relationships, because the women in polygynous relationships know they are exclusive to that one man. They know they are exclusive to that one man, and because they are exclusive to that one man, they know that they have a part in his life. But when these women allow this man to do this in things, they basically are, again, whoremonger. They don't know that they're involved with whoremongers. Again, a whoremonger is a male who basically goes out here pursuing multiple women, but wants to have that bottom woman to be his base woman, to be able to have a home to stay in and have his place to stay. And again, basically wants that woman there in a codependent relationship where he can have power in the relationship. That's what the man gets out of that situation. But the woman, who doesn't know how to be a helpmeet to a man, she basically has low self-esteem and believes that she needs to help meet this dysfunctional situation. A dysfunctional situation where she's not getting her emotional needs met, she's not getting her spiritual connection with that man, and she's not bonding with that man. Again, this is what she's watching happening with this man as he has sex with other women. And as she watches as this man has sex with other women that he's not committed to, she's frustrated because she's not receiving any of the things that a woman receives in a committed relationship. And because she's not receiving those things that a woman receives in a committed relationship, this is what really leads to this type of situation, going from being a dysfunctional situation to being a situation that becomes untenable, and becomes untenable because this woman basically is not getting her emotional needs met. And again, as she's not getting those emotional needs met, she's seething with anger. And usually when these women, again, allow these husbands to have sex with multiple women, with other women, this doesn't end well for that relationship, because eventually that whole situation reaches a boiling point. And it reaches a boiling point where it either turns into a situation where the woman goes out here and, as she's in her low self-esteem, starts participating in affairs of her own, or things escalate into domestic violence because she sees these other women being sexually satisfied and being taken care of by this whoremonger male, and sees herself being emotionally and mentally and spiritually neglected by this man who made vows to God. This man who made vows to God and basically wants to, again, use a wife as a dust mop or a broom, basically have somebody there to make his dinners, iron his clothes, and just be there while he basically has actual relationships with other people. That is the most frustrating thing about this situation for these women, is the feelings of powerlessness, the feelings of powerlessness that these women have as related to this situation. They feel extremely powerless, and again, they feel like they have to accept this because these women feel like that since there's a shortage of men in the social marketplace, they have to tolerate this cheater, which is what this man is. This man is a cheater and a whoremonger male, but she's going to tolerate this disrespect because she'd rather have a pair of pants in the house with a penis in it rather than have no man at all. She'd rather have any sort of male in the house, but has no standard for men or manhood. And that's the reason why she's allowing this to go on, because she believes she can't do better, and she believes that there is not better in the social marketplace. And that's the fear that this woman has, because she really fears competition, because in the world there are 4 to 7 to 10 women for every one man, and she just wants to hold on to the one that she has, because she fears she won't be able to find another man. That's the fear that keeps her looking to allow her husband to go out here and do this act of sexual deviancy as related to their marriage and violate their marriage with adultery if it's not polygyny. And again, this goes against polygyny because, again, in a polygynous relationship, the wives basically are respecting the husband, and the husband respects the wives by going out here and only pursuing women that are looking for commitment to marriage and serving the marriage. And that's what polygyny is about. But these kind of guys, as related to this whole thing, as related to women, as related to the cup queen situation, again, this isn't a queen. This is just a woman who's being humiliated, and humiliated in a place where it never ends well. Never ends well because, again, these women don't want to establish a standard for themselves, and again, don't want to establish that standard for themselves because they have low self-esteem, and because they have low self-esteem, they don't want to establish any sort of standard for themselves, don't want to establish a standard to say they're going to set a boundary for how they're going to be treated and demand respect for themselves. And since they don't want to demand respect for themselves, they allow this disrespect to go on, because there are many women who will sit there and look to just, again, have any man and not think about the quality of the character of that man. And they'll sit there and deal with a man who has no character, sit there and deal with a man who has no respect for them, has no regard for them at all, and will sit there in that relationship because they fear not having a man. And there could possibly be a better man out there who could show them far more respect than what they're receiving. But sadly, these women don't have the self-esteem or self-worth to go out here and look to find that man or trust God to give them that man. They don't have the thing to trust God to give them a man, and again, don't want to submit to that man, so they stay in this dysfunctional situation with a man who doesn't respect them, a man who doesn't respect them at all, and again, looks to have no regard for them at all, because if a husband is, like the Corinthians, I believe the Bible says, a wife is supposed to treat her husband like she wants to be treated, and a husband is supposed to treat a wife like God loved the church. But there's no love in this kind of relationship, and with there being no love in this relationship, it's a relationship that's doomed to fail. And again, only the saddest women who have extremely low self-esteem will allow their husbands to do this disrespect to them, because that man is again entering into other women's bodies, taking away his spirit and DNA and giving it to others. And again, as he gives himself away to others, there's nothing left of him for her. And she makes this compromise and basically misses out on having a man who would give him all of her. That's the whole sad part about these kinds of women, is that they don't see that there's someone who's willing to share themselves with them and bond and connect with them and have an actual relationship with them. Now, this was a video requested by a viewer, and if you want to request a video, you can drop a donation for a minimum of $15 to the PayPal or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And if you want to learn why women like this participate in this type of toxic behavior, you can pick up my book, The Woman Crisis, and Why 70% of Black Women Are Single, to learn about the low self-esteem that has women settling for less instead of going out here and looking for the best. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.